Perfect. It is great. We're here.
Great.
Woo! Here we are.
I'm spicy and served hot.
Hello.
I'm
Hello.
glad we got that out of the way.
Allison, can you please? We know you don't have to
Calm
say
down.
that all the time.
Do we have to put that in every episode? Like,
Yes.
is that a new requirement?
Served hot.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, you
should
do.
just
As long
start it with that.
Yeah.
Every time.
As long as my torture is our main concern. I
It
just
is.
need to make sure. Okay. Thank you.
It is. Well, hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 158 of the Game Brew Podcast.
It's like you just have picks.
The bi-weekly video game podcast where we sip delicious bevs, discuss video games, and discuss video games. I am your host, Dan Trendy Rots, and I am joined by Carrie Stylish Bowen,
I wear my sunglasses at night.
Allison Swanky Van Devender,
Hip hip cheerio. What's swanky? I don't even know what's swanky.
It's
I'm
swanky.
so good at
It's
this.
swanky.
I'm
Hey,
here all
let me know
day,
if you can
people.
guess what the theme is. And Chris on Vogue writes.
I've never been, never in
Yes,
my
you
life
give me
been told
that.
I've
I know
been
what
in
voguing
Vogue.
is.
It's giving Game Brew. What's the theme, everybody? That's right. It's synonyms for trendy. On this
right.
on this episode of the Game Brew
I knew
Podcast,
that.
we
Trendy is a synonym for trendy.
we did. Yeah, well, I was the main one, and then but what we're gonna do in this episode of the podcast is we're gonna rank video game trends of the past and present, as to we're just gonna rank them from S tier all the way down to D tier. So yeah, that's what we're gonna do. But first,
Cool.
This is a Bevs and Video Games podcast. I know at least half of us will be drinking Bevs tonight because sadly the other half of us are just unwell.
I am medicated. I'm not allowed to drink
But
with
medicated.
That's more.
Medications.
It's a sounds like a challenge.
no. No.
No, we read the instructions for the video games we play. Thank you. We aren't you all, Ben. I guess.
I can't believe you would do-
I'll
that a
go
new one?
first.
Allison,
I'll
what are
go
you
first
drinking
because
today?
I am actually drinking even
Nice.
though. So
Ooh.
what I found is
Screw doctors.
a little bit of alcohol actually seems to be good for me.
Oh,
But
nice.
just a little.
I mean,
Mostly red wine, but
ooh.
Was that a whole glass of red wine?
no. Oh, gosh. No, what I'm doing right now is a cran apple, because juice is good too. Cran apple with Crown Royal apple.
Wow, that sounds really good.
It is very
Did you
good.
just spend the afternoon doing this, Dan?
No, I didn't.
Dan's so ready for today. And yeah, it's delicious and very chuggable in a dangerous way. I don't know.
Wait, so remind me of what it's cran apple and what? What was the main?
And Crown Royal.
Crown
apple.
Royal. So
Yeah.
so you could call it
The King's Crown.
a crown apple is what
A
I would
crown
call it.
apple.
A crown apple.
Yes, that sounds very good.
But very
Yeah,
chuggable.
it's very chuggable. Like, this was actually something that I accidentally acquired a bottle of. So,
What?
it's one of those things where somebody brings it and then leaves it, and then you have
Yeah,
it forever,
I
and
know.
you're just
Yep.
like, oh, there it is. It's still here. So that's why I decided to drink it tonight. And yeah, it's actually quite good. So thanks for leaving this a long time ago. And yeah, it feels very fall, very crisp apple. Like, reminds me of the what did I drink? What was the brand of the thing I drank? Smash. This little
Oh
Smash.
yeah, the thing that's like the ciders.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
was the apple one of those is similar to this, but this
Okay.
is sweeter because of the juice. So yeah, very good.
Cool. Very nice. Very so high chuggability.
High chuggability.
High chuggability.
I don't advise it though.
I can't drink Crown Royal ever again.
Can't or you won't.
Both. Too many bad memories. One bad experience, and then it's like, well, never having that again.
You know, I'm not a fan either, but I actually like this.
Mhm.
So I don't know what that says. It's like it's It's very different. It's very apple heavy, so it's like doesn't taste like Crown Royal.
Okay.
Except on the back end. If that
So
makes sense.
some
It still has
background.
that like aftertaste of Crown Royal.
Got it. Let's go to Carrie. Are you having water this evening?
I am hanging with my hydro homies again
What up?
this evening.
Shout out to the hydro.
Staying hydrated. Yep. H2O. Perfection.
Yeah, it's great. The hydro homies love it.
Someone take the sound.
Right? Come on, let's hear it.
Okay.
Hydro homies, let me hear you.
Okay.
So
This is our life
I
now.
assume this happened because of. Gosh, that's long. I assume this is happening because of that one podcast you've been listening to. That's like that you were
Yes.
talking about. It's like a sitcom. Yeah.
A little bit. But I'm gonna go next. I'm drinking because it goes well. I'm drinking a beer from Evil Genius Brewing. It's also a collaboration with White Castle, and it is called Main Character Energy. It is a hazy kiwi dragon fruit IPA.
And
Do you feel like the main character when you drink it? To give you that energy?
It's like definitely like very fruit forward again, like similar to how Allison's is apple forward. This one is like it's really the dragon fruit really comes through, like that bites through a lot. So it tastes a lot fruitier than it tastes beerier, you know? Like you know how sometimes there's like fruit things.
Okay.
Like fruity beers sometimes will be like, oh, it's a good mix.
too fruity.
It's not.
Does the fruit hit your taste buds first, or does it hit it as an aftertaste?
Let me take another sip. It's mostly the aftertaste. Like it's like as you drink it, like it tastes like a hazy IPA, but as you drink it, like it sits on your tongue a little bit. That kiwi and dragon fruit comes out.
That's so interesting because both of those fruit flavors are very subtle to me. So the fact that they're coming through in the beer, I think that's very cool. I think that would be hard to do and not have it taste like really gross, like kind of artificially.
I think because they're both in there, they kind of like make each other like it just highlights it. And also because it's a hazy IPA, it's not like the boldest of IPA flavors. So it's not the beer part isn't overtaking the fruity part. So I don't know. It's pretty good. It's nice and fruity. Evil Genius makes a lot of like really fruity beers. Chuggability, pretty high. Like I think I've already pounded half of this little tiny can as I've been sitting. Well, it's just because it's so drinkable. I mean, it's like one of those things where it's just like, oh, I'm going to take a sip, but it's like I got a big mouth. So it's my sips are going to be pretty big.
So are you chugging another one after this, or are you moving on to a different?
No, I just have these. I don't have a lot of beer in the house right now. Yeah, I know. It's terrifying. But anyway.
Oh man.
Okay.
I was out for last weekend.
And Chris, what are you drinking tonight?
So I'm drinking Jurassic Bark 2: The Lost Squirrel West Coast style IPA.
I love the name of that.
I
That's
100% bought this because of this can.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Yeah, that's a nice little Velociraptor eye there.
Did you drink this last time, or did you just show it to
I
us
just showed
before?
the can before we went
That's
on.
so
because I was
cool.
waiting.
Yeah.
But yeah,
That is a very cool can.
I totally bought it just because of that. And it's pretty good. It's not my favorite IPA I've had. But it's pretty good. It's a West Coast, so a little more hop on the hoppy end, a little more bitter.
Okay.
But for like a West Coast IPA, it's pretty chuggable. It does kind of have like a metallic aftertaste, which I'm not a huge fan of.
Do you think that might be that? Did you pour it out? Is that in from a glass, or you think it might be like?
Yeah, I poured it out into a
Okay.
glass. So, not sure what's going on there. I wonder. It is a little old. It was canned on July 28th.
Ooh, it
So
should
it
still
might be
be
getting
okay.
Close to the end of shelf life.
Yeah. Usually they say, I think it's what? It's like, I mean, technically it's supposed to be like 60 days from. No, that's bottles. That's bottles. It depends on what it is.
I
It's
didn't
real
know this
sedimenty.
about beer.
That's what I was about to say. I said, fun fact. How did this never come to my attention until this moment?
Well, there's some beers that are.
It says in a can in a refrigerator it should last 1 to 2 years. So, I don't know.
I know the standard beer law is if it's in a properly refrigerated area, bottled beer lasts up to 6 months. I don't know about canned
I just
beers.
looked at it and it said that.
Can was like the 2 years. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I guess that makes sense. It's a little bit more vacuum sealed than like a bottle would be.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
it's good.
it's pretty good. Yeah.
Nice.
Outside of that metallic weirdness.
Okay.
But
Chuggability?
yeah,
Chuggability rating?
pretty high chuggability.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. I like the color of that.
Like
It's
I
nice.
said, I mostly just got it because of the can.
That's called the
they're
Hannah
based-
method.
Yeah, they're based in Brooklyn, New York.
There's a few.
Kings County Brewers.
That's
Collective.
a cool name. There's a bunch of good brewers out in Brooklyn these days.
There are.
Very cool. Very neat, very cool.
Very cool.
So this is a video beer and video games podcast. So we're gonna go into the video games part of it, where we talk about what we're playing. Chris and Ian came up to PAX Unplugged.
We did
last weekend up here in Pennsylvania, which is a board game convention. But I'm not going to talk about that because instead I'm going to talk about on Sunday we went to a engagement party for a friend of ours, and in this guy's basement he had like 12 pinball machines.
Oh, that's where that picture was
Oh, jealous.
So because of that, I was talking to him about where he gets his pinball machines from, like how long he's been doing it, all this kind of stuff. Also the I guess the ice cold beer like specs are being renewed, so there might be a whole bunch of new ice cold beer machines.
Ooh. Did you let Ian know that?
I haven't told him yet. I'm going to send him. I need to find more specifics about it. But there is like 5 minutes away from me, there's this pinball arcade. It's like a pinball dealer and arcade, and I was just like, I've passed the place a bunch of times. I'm just like, it's kind of a weird thing. It's probably not that big. So me and Hannah went there yesterday, and it's huge. They have like maybe close to like 50 or 60 pinball machines there. They have classic games. They have like little tables. You can host events and parties there. So that was me on the cat pinball. It was like meow 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 meow.
Do you have to pay like per game, or do you have like unlimited and you just like pay to enter?
So at the front they have like 6 or 7 machines that are like the newest ones that you pay to use, but the funds for that all get donated. So anything you put into those doesn't go to the business. That goes to like donation stuff for charity, which is pretty cool. But for the rest of them, they're all free play, but you do pay like you can either pay like $10 for an hour, $18 for 2, or like $25 for the whole day if you want.
That's pretty cool.
You want to go. So it's like
that's really cool.
They're not open regular hours, so it's like we went yesterday because they were open from 2 to 9, and then they're open on like from Wednesday to Friday 5 to 9, and then sometimes they have like tournaments and stuff. So we went to do that because we got the pinball itch, and then we went there, and Hannah's way better at pinball than me, we've determined. So I don't know what it is, but also on
Girls
Wednesday
just have better hand-eye coordination. It's a
and they have like a pinball league, and they were like,
I was going to say, I agree with Carrie. Girls are better. It's just a fact.
I mean, it's true.
I edited what she said.
You know
I think
what?
I cropped it, but
I'm also going to be third onto there that yes, girls are better. That's just a fact.
Yay!
Yeah.
I'm always right. Thank you.
Yeah, the audience agrees too. But yeah, so that was it, and they have like this like pinball league that you can join, where they just basically practice. Like there's like sometimes they'll take the glass off the top of it and like practice different angles. Like they'll drop the ball coming at a different angle so you can see
Oh,
it.
that's
So
neat. Cool.
there are a bunch of really cool pinball things. We're gonna keep going back. It was really cool. It was really fun. I love pinball. Anyway,
Pretty cool.
that's it. I'll let Chris talk about PAX Unplugged. Go.
So PAX Unplugged is as Dan said, a board game convention. I've been a couple times. This is the first time that I think Ian and Hannah had been. Dan, you've been a little bit.
I went,
But,
for a few hours before.
Yeah. So basically, it's a giant hall full of nerds playing card games, board games, tabletop games, stuff that hasn't been released yet, stuff that a lot of stuff that I've never heard of or only have seen there. But basically, it's just a mecca of tabletop analog gaming, and it's really cool just to see all these different things that are out there and really experience everything that's there. I mean, it's the merch area is huge. Like, there's all these different companies creating all these different games, and they're all showing them off there. You can sit down and try them out. We sat down and played this one game. It was called something Nexus.
Nexus. I forget.
Can't remember. It had like kind of like a gothic theme, but basically you were a necromancer and you were trying to summon the demons to assist you in defeating the other necromancers. And you had to like work by having your skeleton friends do work for you, basically.
Yes.
But we got to sit down and talk with one of the guys that created the game, which was really cool, and just kind of pick his brain a little bit. We also picked up some Lorcana cards.
We did pick up some Lorcana because
we're bad at regulating our predictions.
I mean, I wanted to try it at least to see like what the deal is, and I sent you guys a text message at Hannah was at Target on like Monday.
Yeah.
And so she was in there. She was like, she sent me a text message. Oh, hey, I was just in Target. They were just starting to put out the Lorcana cards. and I called her and I said, Hannah, go back in and go buy some for our nieces right now because they're at Target.
Yes, our nieces.
No. It is for our nieces. We did get some booster packs too. But I said, go back in and get some for our nieces. And she was like, oh my God, I went back in and it was only 5 minutes, but most of it was gone already. And I was like, yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Ian texted me. He bought some more cards last week, and he got one that's like a holographic Mickey card.
Ooh.
Of some sort that's worth like a couple $100.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
So yeah, Lorcana is basically Magic the Gathering, but with a Disney skin. A lot of the same mechanics, but I think that they get around some of the pitfalls that Magic has. There's no like there's mana, but everything almost every card can be mana. You basically just choose not to play a card and turn it into mana. So you don't have like the issue of having to redraw because like redrawing because you don't have enough mana in your hand at the start. I do think that
doesn't Disney do? Can I like literally they have reached out into every space they can at this point. It's crazy.
They
have Dreamlight, isn't that what it's called?
Dreamlight Valley. That's their like little crafting sim.
Do they have an MMORPG?
No, but that's a really good idea. How would we do that? How would we'll do that on a later pod
style.
Okay. Yeah.
Or it would be like Kingdom Hearts.
Kingdom Hearts, exactly. Yeah, that's what it would be. You would have different worlds you could jump into, and
it
would be
which would be actually really cool.
Yeah, that would be really
very cool. I like Kingdom Hearts. But side note, I found 2 games that may help you: Nexus or Nexus Infernium.
Nexus Infernium. Nexus Infernium.
Okay, I found it.
Thank you.
Yeah, it was pretty fun. But yeah, anyway, so like we also played. They have a game library, so you can basically borrow games that they have in stock in their game library and go find a table and play them. And it got to the point later in the day when we went to do that, and I guess everyone else was doing that, so we had to sit on the floor for a little while until we found a table spot. But we played a game called The Crew, which was like a trick taking game with some added stipulations.
Yeah, there's different like what are like different missions you have. Like I think one of the ones is like, oh, I will have the most tricks, or like I won't have any yellow threes whenever I finish it, which is
and then we also played a game called Machikoro, which is basically a dice rolling game where you buy different properties. You start with rolling only one dice. Depending on what's rolled, a 1 or a 6, something can happen. You can get more properties so that you can have more options to get different dice rolls. And basically the goal is to, I think you won that, right?
I did win that. Yes. I was just about to say I won that game that we played.
Yeah.
So
listen, man, you are all about Dominion and I won that twice. So.
You won Dominion twice. I still love Dominion.
I love Dominion too, apparently.
And then we also played Ian brought Moonrakers, which was like long.
It's like Munchkin, but it's like better Munchkin.
It's like it's a deck builder Munchkin with spaceships. And that I didn't understand the rules for like 4 rounds and immediately made everybody distrust me, which was great.
Yeah. So like just like Munchkin, you can like help assist on missions. And there were certain ways that you could do that, but Dan would forget that you have to like spend points to use things.
I'm like, oh, I have enough of this thing to do it, and then
but like he wouldn't have the energy to do it.
So. And I'd be like, oh no, I'm so sorry, I didn't mean to do this on purpose. I didn't have enough stuff. I'm so sorry. And then we'd fail, and then it would be my fault, and then it lasted a very long time.
I think it happened at least 3 times.
Oh yeah.
But it was fun. It was, I mean, like honestly, and then we went to the Buttery. Unrelated to video games.
The Malvern Buttery is so good. If you're in Pennsylvania near Malvern, go to the Buttery.
Go to the Buttery.
It's like it will make you love.
What is the Buttery?
It's like a pastry shop. It's really good.
Yeah, it's a bakery and patisserie. So it's like they have just like regular breads that you can get, but they also have like really good like sticky buns and breakfast sandwiches, and it's really good. It's very expensive.
This sounds amazing. I don't need to hear any more about it.
It's really good.
So it was overall a great weekend. It was really great to hang out with Dan and Hannah and Ian. It was just a really fun weekend.
Yeah, so. It was really good.
Yeah, go to PAX Unplugged. It's awesome.
Go to PAX Unplugged. It is really fun. It's a lot of stuff. We unfortunately missed like Matt Mercer was there on Friday giving the keynote, and we couldn't be there then. So we missed that, but we can watch it on Twitch. I'm sure it's still up there.
Yeah.
If we want to. But yeah, okay. Moving on, Allison.
So I haven't been playing a lot of things because I've not been feeling too well. But I did have something tragic happen to me for the first time in my life related to Dungeons and Dragons.
Uh-oh.
So we've been playing a game with children because I have decided that it's very important to me that the next generation know how to play D&D and
of course
have passion for it.
And by the next generation, you mean like Jean-Luc Picard?
Yes. So I am solely playing Star Trek. No. So I've wanted to aid in these kids like getting to experience it and learning it. And I've made my character very critical to this story. I am literally the leader because they need that for their first experience. They need somebody who really guides them through and handholds a bit, directs them in what to do. And I've tried my best to explain to them we don't need to fight everything. And everything shouldn't just be destroy spells, right?
Mm-hmm.
That is something I feel like is very difficult to explain to kids when they're getting into D&D because they just want to fireball. They just want to explode magic missiles.
I mean, that is a viable option every time is fireball.
Is it? So
it is.
What happened was I am also like they see me as the carry because I can do like a really big blast damage, but like then that's it because I'm a paladin. Like,
right.
I'm really not. That's not what I'm intending to do, but that's kind of what I've had to do to save them from a lot of scenarios they've gotten themselves in over their head. So, with that being said, my character, this is the first character I've ever had this happen with, has permed.
Nice. Love it.
So my character died.
Totally
on-
Not
happens.
great.
on Saturday. Yes. And
Now, as a
it
paladin, was it in an epic, like, I'm protecting everybody else sort of way, or?
Yes. But also like I didn't think I was going to die. It just kind of I rolled horribly.
You never do.
This whole fight. I don't know what happened. I did this like really awesome thing to start, and then like everything was bad. Every roll I had. So, it wasn't really like this great epic moment. Yeah, I was trying to kill one of the big bads in this like situation.
Mm-hmm.
But like all they had to do was kind of like pull me out of this AoE I was in, and none of them thought to. And like also they
happens.
could have like CC'd some characters, but none of them have taken CC spells. So like because of this all kind of turn of events happened, and I died, and then someone else's character died.
Oh,
So we
no.
had 2 permas in this event, which led to lots of tears.
Oh no.
I was
from
gonna,
the children.
Yeah, I was going to say, if they're young kids, that's tough.
Yeah,
But,
that's tough. But like it was just how the situation played out because of like some choices they made. And that's just kind of how it is.
and that's a good learning experience for the kids too, to be like, hey, sometimes if you are like, go, attack, this
Yes.
is what happens,
Right. But now we have this like whole situation of my character being so critical to the forward plot movement, and and we're in a bad place for there to even be mourning. Like it's just all bad. So yeah, we'll see how that goes, but that's the first time I've ever had a character die and not be able to come up.
It's
So.
tough. It's an important, I think there's a lot of people out there who have never had had their character die in an RPG
Mhm.
or a TTRPG, and I think it is a very building. It is like a very important part of like how you process things.
Yeah, and it is interesting too, because like this is the first character that I've really thought 4 steps ahead with.
Mm.
Because a lot of these characters like I'm living in, and I don't really know where I want their story to go yet necessarily. Like, do I have like what their character like arc maybe? Yeah, but I don't have it like really set. And like I had like so much planned for this character because I really wanted to build it in a certain way for the kids. And that's all just destroyed now. And that's weird for me because I've never done that with a character either. And I've not necessarily gotten attached to her, but I've gotten attached to what she could have been for these kids. So yeah,
It's
it's
true.
sad.
But
Wow,
now,
your DM's a jerk.
Yeah, we won't go there because I'm not trying to start World War III.
He is also my DM, so
Yeah, same DM.
wait,
But-
who's your DM? Is it someone?
No,
Isn't it?
actually, it's Fee. But
That's better.
Actually, he really tried to not let this happen in like the
Ugh.
best ways he could, and I just failed every roll of opportunity he gave.
Sometimes
So it
it'd
is
be
what
like
it
that.
is.
Listen, the
It-
dice gods want what they want. You don't get a choice. Whenever it happens, it happens.
Exactly.
you know?
I said this is fate, and then I took a shot, and then called it a day.
But now you get to do the best part is you get to make a brand, like you and this other kid get to make a brand new character. Like you get to, like, you played in the
Yes.
world as one thing. Now you get to
Yeah.
come in as a completely different thing, or even a
Yes,
slightly
so-
similar thing.
That's what we're thinking about, and we're trying to work it out. So yeah, we ended last night right after that, so we could think on it. And
Gotcha. My name is Schmarnathan. I'm here
oh
to
no, they're
avenge my brother
hardcore.
Jonathan.
Jonathan.
Hardcore. Once you're out, you're out. That's
yeah,
it.
yeah.
Perma. You out of the
Yeah.
group.
Yeah, no
Oh
one's gonna be
no,
friends
that's
with you
not how
anymore.
we're doing it.
Wow, that would be pretty hardcore.
Okay.
If there was like a group of, imagine that like a hardcore D&D group where if you died, you never were allowed to come back to it. Like you're
Isn't
just
that starting to be a trend?
Is that
Like
a
the-
trend?
that sounds
I mean, WoW
horribly.
did it.
What?
WoW did it.
Wow?
World of Warcraft.
But that's not like a tabletop role playing game.
No, but it's a game trend, like a permadeath thing. You die, you die.
No, I understand, but I'm thinking like more like, imagine you're playing a tabletop role playing game with like your 4 best friends, and then your character dies, and then all of a sudden
And they're
they're
just
just like,
like, okay, bye.
say, see
Yeah.
See you,
Okay,
Terry.
bye.
You're never allowed
That
to come back.
sucked.
That's right.
Coffee, I appreciate you, but no, we don't eject people from the friend group when they die.
mean-
You've
I mean,
been
not to their
voted out.
faces at
You are the
least.
weakest link. Goodbye.
Dang.
So wow. Well, have fun
Wow.
in the afterlife, Allison, with your character.
Thank you. Sashi Skycrusher, the half orc paladin, will do her best to
Ooh, I got a soft
live
spot
out
for
the
half
rest of
paladins.
her. I know to live out her agreement with Bahamut in the afterlife. You know,
Nice.
it is what it is.
Carrie, I see you've been playing some 7 Days to Die on Discord. Anything
Yeah.
anything else exciting going on in your gaming life?
Not really. I mean, I've been dealing with a lot of like holidays and birthdays and stuff, so gaming life has just been a little bit here and there. But 7 Days to Die, really. Modded 7 Days to Die. And some
Gotcha.
Valheim.
All
So.
right, Valheim. Nice. There's a Lego crafting game that's part of Fortnite now. It's fine. It's okay. It's kind of reminds me of what is it, Palladia? The one that you started playing recently, Allison, with like the what was that called?
Palea.
It's kind of like that, where it's like this
It
is
took
a
a second for me to register.
it's like this is a crafting building game. It's fine. But they also put like Rocket League racing in there. There's also like a like beat matching game kind of like rock band that they put in. They were like, hey, guess what? Fortnite is not just Fortnite anymore. It's everything.
So
But-
it's like Roblox now, right?
Kind of. Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah, I mean
Um,
Palea, I think Carrie can say it too. Palea, it was so nice. Like it looks good, it feels good, but there's not content to do.
yeah.
Yeah.
That was one of the things when I was playing. I was like, this is okay. This is fine. But that's the same thing with this game. I was playing that. I was like, yeah, this is it exists, you know. Well, we're gonna get to but you know, this podcast, we're gonna do one of our favorite things in the whole world. We're gonna make a tier list. Hooray, tier lists, everybody.
I love
we
tier
need,
lists.
like a theme song here. Like it's tier list time.
All
Or
right.
it's you can just throw in the spicy served hot.
No.
And spicy.
No.
There we
and
go.
served
That
hot.
doesn't go
And
with
what's spicy and
everything.
served hot
It
is
goes with
this.
spicy and served hot goes with everything.
It does.
That was
It does.
totally Disney
I don't know what that
moment.
was. That wasn't a good one. I have so many little sounds I can use, but I'm not going to do all of them right now. Instead, we're going to go to this tier list. So the tier list that we're doing, whoops. The tier list that we're doing is gaming trends. Let me switch this over real quick. That's not it. Nope, that's not it. Nope, that's not it. Here we go. That is it. So this is our gaming tier list. You can see it on the Game Brew Twitch right now. If you have, I'm going to just go through and tell you what all the things are. If you want to write these down, please feel free. And if you in the chat think of a gaming trend that isn't on here, let me know, and I will.
For these, did you just take like the first picture that showed up for?
Sometimes.
Tell me what the difference between is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The 8th and the 9th one.
Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So number 8. I'm just going to go through and I'll tell you what they all are. So the first one is battle passes. The second one is battle royales. DLC.
I got that one. Yeah.
Early access games. Extreme sports games. FMV games.
FMV.
Full motion video. Night trap. Like a bunch of things from the 90s. Her story.
Yeah.
What's this one? Freemium games, like games that are free but you have to pay money for. The loot boxes, microtransactions, open worlds, peripherals, quick time events, remasters, roguelites. I don't remember what this one is. I think it's Souls likes.
Which one is this?
The Code Vein one. What's this guy? This is stealth sections in video games.
Or just stealth games in general?
Oh boy. Oh, tacked on multiplayer.
Okay. I was
VR
thinking maybe looter shooters.
No, VR and movement based
Motion.
peripherals. Yeah,
Yeah,
like motion peripheral stuff.
Okay.
Okay, and we're just gonna go from left to right. So we're gonna start with battle passes. So
All right.
battle pass, you're gonna get battle pass.
So are these battle passes like
Battle
paid
pass.
and also earnable, or just
Just the
battle
whole
passes?
concept. The whole
Okay,
concept.
let me ask a broad question before
Yeah,
we start ranking.
sure.
These. So is the idea like how we like them, or how like
I think
the good of all gaming?
I think
these are.
I'm gonna say let's see. The ranking is to whether or not it is good. Is this a good trend or a bad trend?
Okay, I'm with you. I just wanted to clarify.
But it is completely our opinion. If you
all these opinions are explicitly the opinions of the Game Brew podcast,
and we will fight and argue and disagree, and probably just have to shove things.
Yeah, you'll just have to suck it up, everybody.
Okay, battle passes. They're awful. Next.
Really?
Really interesting.
I like battle passes.
I was going to say,
yeah, me too. Well, Carrie, you go first.
I like battle passes because it's kind of like an achievement kind of thing, a reward for doing things kind of thing. For me, like
yes, but
I like little carrots and little things that, hey, play this much more and you're gonna get this little outfit or get this little thing. And I like stupid cosmetic shit like that, and that's usually what you're getting with those things.
Yes, and sure. So this brings me back to I think it was Battlefield 3, where they had like progression where like you'd have to use a weapon and level that weapon up to unlock the attachments, and like you'd have to play as a class to unlock the different things. And then they came out with things you could buy to just kind of pay for your way to get all of it unlocked.
Well, now that's different.
But I feel like that was the beginning of it, and then later on, like in Battlefront, they had the battle pass, but then they made it so if you and basically took all of that content that they had where like you'd have to use skill and ability and playing time, and just made it so if you didn't pay, you couldn't progress really at all.
Well, that's I think that's different. I think that's I would put that under like a microtransactions or like pay to win stuff, because because battle passes I think of more
are exclusively like cosmetics.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
like
they
team
kind
fight
of
tactics.
Oh, let's let Allison go.
Started the way Chris is talking,
right?
But they've become a more modern idea. So, like Carrie's talking about with team fight tactics, and she subscribes to that, so she could explain better like what you actually get in the game. But I think most, if not all, games are adopting that now. So Carrie, kind of explain what you would get.
Oh, I mean, with team fight tactics, like if you don't pay for the battle pass, the free stuff that you unlock is like little emotes. It's it's okay things. You get some points and stuff that you can unlock from it too. But if you actually pay for the battle pass, then you can unlock like skins and little avatars and emotes and little champions and stuff like that.
I do that with Fortnite. You get the battle pass, and then you get skins, different different things you unlock. You get free ones as you can go along, but if you but you can get more stuff, or
If you
like
pay.
if you pay, like and in like Chris in Fall Guys, that's a
Yeah.
battle pass.
Yeah,
for
yeah,
the team
yeah.
thing.
Yeah,
So-
yeah, yeah.
And that's how they've adapted it now to where it isn't pay to win. And so I think battle passes, in my opinion, are a good thing because it supports the game in a way that I can put money into it, but also isn't giving players anything that would give them an edge. It's just fun things, just
Gotcha.
cosmetic.
Okay, you've convinced me.
Okay,
I don't think they're the greatest thing of all time.
No,
but
I think
I
they're
don't
A
think
for me.
they're the worst.
It's definitely-
yeah. I don't know about all that.
Well, let's hear everyone. I
No.
think A.
I would say A because it does like keep me playing stuff like Call of Duty. I play a lot of Call of Duty stuff, and I'm like, I finished the battle pass for the last season because I was like, boy, I want to get all these things that are on here. So I just kept playing it. So it works. It does the thing it wants to get you to do, is just keep playing the game. Games as
Mhm.
service.
Okay, where would you rank it?
Definitely A for sure.
Wow. So
Curmudgeon
that's
You
over here
secede
with
on
my-
this one?
with my C.
Will you secede on this one?
Well, I mean, the majority says A, so
Okay.
I think that averages out to a B, right?
Well-
It's a B plus, which we're rounding up to an A.
okay.
yeah, I think we'll
okay.
keep that as an A. Now let's go into the next one. Battle Royales. Where would we place Battle Royales? Allison?
I am so tired of the idea of battle royale. So this is where it's difficult for me because, like, personally, I'm over battle royale. I don't think it's bad. I just think it's outplayed, outused, it's saturated. The market is saturated, and I'm bored.
Help me define battle royale.
PUBG, Fortnite.
Well,
Original,
I mean, okay,
actual
but-
Fortnite.
But what is the mechanic that is battle royale?
So there's
100
like
men
a
enters.
set level of people coming in at
Players.
the same time. There's a constantly shrinking battlefield, forcing everyone to kind of meet in the center. It's Hunger Games.
Yep.
Essentially, like
Apex.
yeah.
Those games.
Or
where
the
Warzone.
manga, book, anime battle royale, which is what the image is from. Is from that. It's not from.
Yeah.
yeah, so everybody's dropped on the map. They all try to kill each other, and whoever dies last is the top, whether it be single player or a team, usually team. And it's just, yeah, it's oversaturated in my opinion. So for me, it's a C.
I think at the time, like when PUBG first came out, it was pretty cool.
Yeah. If we were scoring this at a different time, I would agree. But
Yeah,
right now,
I mean,
we'll see.
Yeah.
Average.
Yeah, I think as a trend, it has gone downhill. I do think it is interesting now the different types of battle royales, like
Action shooters are kind of like an offshoot of it.
Yeah. There's also what's it called? Fall Guys, which is technically a battle royale, but it's like racing. There's this game that just came out called Headbangers, which is a rhythm-based battle royale. So
really? That sounds cool.
it's very silly. You'll play pigeons. But I would
I-
put
This one, I want to play that one actually.
yeah, it's on Game Pass. You could play it on Xbox if you
do it
have
right
Game
now.
Pass. Let's see. There is, and then there are like the Mario 99, the Tetris 99. Those are battle royales technically. But yeah,
It's just, I agree. It's oversaturated. It's like there's nothing innovative about it anymore.
right. I do think this trend is kind of starting to die. I don't think people are like
Yeah.
doing.
In the
like-
same way, like MOBAs were a trend and they died off too, except for
That's
like
true.
the big ones.
Well, what's
That's
the top
true.
game right now? Like, what are the kids playing right now? What's the like?
Fortnite, I
Still
guess.
And
Fortnite.
that's a
Fortnite.
battle royale. So
But
right?
it's but they're not playing it.
It's
Just for
different.
The battle royale
it's different though
It had
now
to
because
grow.
now Fortnite is more of a hub for different types of games than it is just.
It's
It's
robots.
like if Call of Duty and Minecraft had a love child and you had custom game types. You know what I mean? Like it's
Yeah.
it's weird.
Yeah. So, but I'll agree with C just because it's like no one's doing it anymore. Like this trend kind of has jumped the shark, in my opinion.
I think
I agree.
4 years ago I would have said B. You know,
Gotcha. Gotcha.
but yeah, I do agree.
All right. And
Yeah,
remember,
C for sure.
if you disagree with us, tell us
You're wrong.
in the chat. No, tell us. Let us know, or go to our Discord, bit.ly/disco. All right. Day one DLC that comes out.
This is
it's
day one
DLC. I remembered what I was thinking whenever I put this in.
That's different.
D.
That's D.
Is there an F? Can we make an F?
I can
Yeah,
make it.
that is content that they're making you
Or
pay
Z?
extra for that they already made.
Do we have an example?
Yes, I can find one.
So
I
for the
can think
Total
of
War
one.
games, they always like do like a pre-order. I mean, that's kind of a pre-order bonus, not really what a day one DLC, but like it's kind of the same. But basically, content that they make you pay extra for to, but it's available day one. So basically, it's content that they've created already, but they're asking more money for it because they can.
I'm looking up.
I'm trying to find good examples because I know I've experienced it, but I can't think of anyone off the top of my head.
The only thing I'm remembering off the top of my head is like day one DLC being like soundtrack. But I'm trying to think of when I've seen like maybe extra maps
of, like,
or
when
something.
There was like all those pre-order bonuses for like different places you could pre-order stuff, and that sucked.
Back when I was playing FPSs, there were like map packs that would come out day one.
Yeah.
And I want to say it was a Call of Duty that did this to me and really burned me. But I can't remember which Call of Duty it was. And there was like a day one launch day map pack. And which Call of Duty it was, I can't recall.
Oh, there was the one that had Nuketown that was a day one DLC, I think.
Yes.
Yep.
And all of my friends was like, Nuketown. Like, we had talked about
Nuketown was great. That was such a good map.
But here's the thing. Like, it was teased that Nuketown was going to be released with the game, but it wasn't explicitly explained that you had to buy it separately. So, like, me and my friends, we were big Call of Duty heads. And we were so excited that Nuketown was coming out. And then we found out we had to buy it additionally. And it just put this, like, pissed off taste in my mouth. I don't know what that tastes like, but it was. And it just like irked me so
good.
much. No, and it was honestly one of the reasons I started like not playing Call of Duty as much, just because like I don't know, I had to buy that in addition to the game I just bought and downloaded, and then download that too, and like it was all just irritating. We were all just trying to play like fast and fun and enjoy it, and then that DLC didn't work right day one either, which also irritated me. That was a server issue. I should have expected it. There's that. There's Borderlands 2 released with Captain Scarlet DLC, it says.
Yeah. So yeah, it's just extra content that you have to buy, and it just sucks. So yeah, I agree. It's D.
That's it. Well, I did add an F, so there is an F tier if we want to put it on there.
Yeah, drop it in F, please. That's so dumb. It's very irritating to me. Release it free day one, or
like when The Witcher came out, Witcher 3 came out. I think it had like 15 extra DLCs that they just like were like, here you go. Thanks for buying our game. Here's a bunch of extra content.
I did look up some stuff, and it is like a lot of times. I think we're kind of missing this part of it now, but a lot of times, like day one DLCs would be stuff like that developers were working on in between, like when it was shipped for certification, and then whenever it was like released. But now there's such a small window of that. I don't think that now it's like
even if it is like,
but it should be free
because it was meant to be with the game.
True.
Then
I agree. That's why it's
my opinion.
It's like give us stuff. Stop making us pay extra for other stuff. Okay. Early access games.
So this is a mixed bag.
Mm-hmm.
I think that the concept of like Steam early access is a great idea. It allows the barrier of entry for small game developers to start selling a product that isn't completed with the hope that it will eventually get completed. So when it's used, and it's not like abused, when it's like used for good, It's
Mhm.
great. It makes so much sense. But there are a lot of companies that like basically will keep a game in early access forever, or like they'll like take it out of early access and then completely abandon it, or
Yeah.
companies will release. I think it's led to a lot of companies releasing broken games and then they'll fix it later. They just want to get it out as fast as they can, and
Yep.
that's
Is
not good.
Could someone tell me, is Ark Survival Evolved, is that still in early access, or is that released? Like, is that a real game now?
Oh, I don't know. I know 7 Days to Die is still
Ark
alpha.
Survival Ascended is in early access.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I think
Ark Survival Evolved is fully out.
Oh, it came out like a month ago. Jesus, that's like 7 years.
I feel like this is so difficult for me to put in a tier, and here's why. Because we're talking about what the real problem is, which is what is that these gaming companies are being pushed to release before games are ready. And instead of just releasing a game they know isn't ready, they're calling it an early release to try to like make the financial people happy, the backers. In my opinion,
Sneaky.
this is the problem and why we're seeing this so much now. They're trying to make the backers happy and the people they have to answer to, while also maintaining that my game isn't ready, please give us time. So in that sense, it's like Palia is technically early access. So I'm giving it a lot of leeway with the fact that I don't feel like content is there, because they're still working through some things, but they definitely needed to release it for some reason.
But there's examples like Mountain Blade 2, Bannerlords, which was early access when it came out. But it's incredible. Like, it's so good.
Right. And those are the examples where it's like maybe the game was pretty ready, but they weren't necessarily exactly ready to release, and they just want to get a feel
or
a bug check, whatever.
7 Days to Die. Is that still in early access technically?
Yeah, so I was saying it's still alpha.
But it's also a very good game.
Right.
And they keep releasing lots of content for it.
I think it's difficult.
I think at this point that the name of the game is just 7 Days to Die Alpha. I think that's just the name of the game now. At this point.
and that's where the line's being blurred a lot too, because you have these early access games that release feeling like a full game, then you have early access games that don't feel like a full game, and the line is so blurred anymore that it feels like early access games should be ready to fully play and experience and be done. If you're releasing it, then it's got to be pretty ready, right? And I think there's just a scale of that exists where some of them aren't as ready as others.
God,
and
I mean, I think
7 Days to Die has been in early access for a decade.
Yeah.
That's
wild. So look,
I love that.
7 Days to Die is a small studio. I mean, this is what you run into. Like, I mean, there's different reasons for different studios for why they are, go into early access for a game. And I Chris, I think you actually articulated it really well. But I think that, with games like, or with studios like 7 Days to Die, it's absolutely a funding issue. Them being a smaller studio. And then at one point they went and they did get to a publisher that I think was handling like their console side of things, but then they lost that, and then they had to stop developing on their console, and that all affects, how fast they can put content out. But yeah, at least they still put content out. And I hate these companies, like you said, that call something early access, and then as soon as they pop it out, they're like, all right, we're done, on to the next thing.
Yeah, I've bought into early accesses that, like, there was basically a Mountain Blade but with guns. That company completely abandoned it, and they make like waifu games now.
Hey, you could
I love
make
a good
some money
waifu
doing
game.
that. Love a good waifu. Only husband waifus.
Who doesn't?
But so where do we fall? I lean more towards like the low side of good. So like B for me, because it's like,
as a trend, it's really bad though. It shouldn't be this way.
So like
games are forced. So I don't want it to be a trend.
I think I think C. I mean, like I think with the caveat that like when it's done well, it is good.
Yeah.
But there are so many bad actors out there that have ruined it, so therefore it is bad.
Or it's a forced situation, which is also bad.
Yeah.
Where it's like,
But
this
like, I
shouldn't be
mean, think
happening
about
yet.
like Star Citizen.
I don't like
That's
I don't
been in
like
the
it as a
equivalent
trend.
of early access
for 20 years.
and it's the most expensive game ever made still. Yeah, or is that still Red
I think
Dead?
so. I think it's still, well, I don't know. GTA 6 is coming out, and that's supposed to be like $1 billion game. So we'll have to see.
Well, it looks good.
Early access
It does.
in itself is not that big of a deal. I mean, as somebody who's been a QA tester for games and stuff, they don't have the money for all the QA testing. Sure, get your your audience to do it for you, but as a trend, that I don't like.
Okay. So are we C or D? Because I don't think it's the worst thing in the world, but I also don't.
See,
I'm
me.
leaning. I'm
I-
C.
I'm fine
I
with
was-
C.
I was more C, but
Yeah, C.
That's
Okay,
fine.
C.
Yeah,
That's
I'm
good.
with
Okay.
that.
Next one. This should be a little bit more lighthearted. Extreme sports games. Tony Hawk's Pro Skater, Dave Meaver Pro BMX,
Steep.
aggressive inline, steep, SSX tricky. Games like those. Guess what we haven't seen in a long time? Games like
I mean,
those.
Steep was like the most recent one.
Yeah. And there have been like some that are like, ooh, what's the one where you're on the motorcycle and you have to like tip it forwards and backwards?
Oh, that's like a Flash game though.
No, it's not. No, but it's not. It's like a real game. Oh no, what's it called? Oh no. Oh no. Okay, but anyway, as a trend, because that was like early 2000s, like early to late 2000s.
I
Trials.
think-
Thank you,
I-
Coffee.
I think back on this trend and have warm fuzzies,
Mhm.
but a lot of the games were not good.
A lot of the games weren't good. I did like that there were so many of them, like so much to the fact that there was like they made that. Do you remember BMX Triple X, the
Yes.
like game
Oh,
they
yes.
made? That was
What?
How
like,
can you
no?
not remember that? Ooh.
wait, Chris, did you say no?
No, should I
This-
look this up
this
with
was,
in incognito mode
mean-
or?
Maybe.
I mean, maybe.
So yeah, like I think so this is one where the saturation of the market didn't bother me like it does with other
Right.
trends
I was like,
because
I
there's
was cool with it.
so many extreme sports. And then they started branching off into ridiculous extreme sports like BMX Triple X or what have you, or SSX Tricky, where it's like unrealistic tricks
Yeah.
versus realistic games, or like there was just a really broad selection. There you go, you looked it up. This is now in your search history.
It's in your search history. Hey, listen, but that's what we all experienced in the 2000s. I will
true.
never be more upset than whenever I sent my I think it was either my sister or my brother. They were like, "Oh, we're gonna go get this game. Can you pick this one up for N64 on your way home?" And we were like, "Kids," and they were like, "Yeah." And then it was Snowboard Kids. It was like a cartoony snowboard game for Nintendo 64.
Mhm.
It was really good. And then they came home with something with 1080 snowboarding,
1080,
which
yeah.
was like the most like, this is snowboarding game. And I was like, this is boring. I hate this. Where are all my power-ups and cartoons?
And Wicked Thai Chicken says, don't forget the OG game Skate or Die. Like
Skate
like
or
and
die.
like a lot of these are like core memories for us, right?
Yeah.
Like
I mean, the OG game is actually Paperboy.
You're probably
I mean,
right.
Sure. But like Tony Hawk, like I have so many like good
Oh,
core
yeah.
memories in that
Like,
game, obviously.
I mean, the soundtrack alone. like,
Yes. And,
I didn't know
and,
what Primus was at the time, but man, I really liked Jared was
Yeah.
a race car driver.
yeah,
Drove
and
so
like
goddamn fast.
like
Never
so
wanted window checker flags.
these
Yeah.
games in my opinion are this is an S tier trend. I do not think it gets old.
I think that trend, especially because it had the same life as like how popular extreme sports were, like the X Games and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It was like
Yeah.
the same. Like it's like there were at
Yeah.
the same time that like skateboarding and aggressive inline and snowcross and like
Right.
motocross and BMX was really cool. These
Yes.
games were really cool. So I
Yeah.
think
Yes,
I
this-
would agree with you that it's S tier on that.
This trend hit at the right time. They did the right thing with it. They expanded and made each game different in some way. Not
But-
all of them.
But I
no.
don't think it would be S tier without Tony Hawk.
No, without
Probably
Tony Hawk,
not.
no, definitely not.
The marketing of this trend.
Tony
is
Hawk,
great.
the person, not the game.
Yeah.
No,
Yes.
but actually the game.
Yes. Carrie,
But
where would you rank it?
I mean, I not really my games.
Mhm.
Not really my games.
So you
Yeah.
concede to us?
Yeah, whatever you guys decide, it's up to you. I mean, look, I did like Tony Hawk back in the day. I did
Nice.
like
Who
Tony
didn't?
Hawk.
Who
The
didn't?
guy.
And I do remember at one point I did play some golf game where like your bag carriers were like these scantily clad chicks, and at some point they get into like a fight against each other or something. You have to fight bag chick against bag chick or something. It was weird. It was
sounds
weird.
fantastic.
I feel like I know what game that is. I have no idea what it
It
was
was
called.
golf.
But
It was some weird golf game. I don't know. But anyhow. Yeah, I
I'm
don't
gonna
know.
find this
I-
game because I'm now curious.
all right, so we're gonna put that in S. Everybody feel okay about that? Everybody
Yeah.
S, yeah. Okay,
Sure.
cool.
that is Alex Redder approved.
Alex Ryder approved.
I would love to know the chat if they also agree because we've had some. I love reading the chat. I love when people tell us where they put it. 'Cause I
Yes,
like seeing the
please in the
opinions.
chat tell us where you would put any of these things.
Twisted Metal type games.
That would be like vehicle
Oh.
combat.
Yes.
Yeah, probably vehicle.
Vigilante
vehicle
8 was my
games.
fucking shit.
Vigilante 8. I
I feel
don't
like we
think
should
about
have,
that game.
I think
feel like we
about that
should
game all the
have-
time.
What should we have? Like a racing or like car games or like what's the trend there?
I tried to.
car combat because I feel like,
Car
like Mario
combat,
Kart
yeah.
and like Twisted
Yeah.
Metal, Vigilante
Okay.
8, Burnout.
Okay, hold on.
Man.
Yeah, I think that's a good one. And racing games maybe like, just in general.
There we go. Car combat. Oh, not shopping. Images. Here we go. All right, this will do it, right? Here we go. Save image as whatever that is.
While he's looking all that up, I'll just go to chat. PS2 used to come with a ATV versus Off-Road Fury 2. That game was fucking dope. Where would Twisted Metal type? Oh, we already read that one. Is that what I'm going to stream next? You know what, Coffee? If I can find it, I will stream it next. I actually have considered. Carrie got me a game I want to stream next. But also, I'm thinking about maybe doing some like old school games to stream.
OG
Like,
games.
maybe that would bring me weird
yeah.
joy.
All right, here we go.
Yeah.
I got Roadkill, whatever that game is, but yeah, car killers,
That's perfect.
car battlers. We're gonna go into that one. Where would you put those? Because I do as a
S tier,
trend.
immediately.
S tier.
Vigilante 8, I spent a lot of time playing, and it was awesome.
I will say
Eighth
that
tier.
I would.
Wicked Tie Chicken gets it.
I think I really think A, just because. No, because that was really good.
Did you guys ever play Auto Assault?
I never played Auto Assault.
Auto Assault. Is that where just like a German men named Otto just beat each other up? Because that's not.
No, it was a car battle game, but it was from NC Soft. It was the company I worked at. So,
Oh, cool.
but it was before I worked there.
Hmm.
They had this game called Auto Assault that was fairly popular.
Oh, and yeah, like I was just reminded that they referenced Mad Max in this. The Mad Max RPG that came out. I was going to say
Oh,
recently, but that was probably
yeah.
8 years ago now.
Yeah.
That
wow.
was really like the car combat, and that was really fun.
Yeah, it
Yes.
was.
So car combat as a genre is fun and good.
It's awesome.
So hear me out. Car combat as a trend
Was
is
awesome.
not. Is not because as a trend, if we're talking about Mario Karts, right? For just Mario Karts, even in this little
Hey,
subgenre.
Rocket League is.
Yeah, Rocket League's great. Twisted Metal, awesome. Mario Kart, good. Yeah. But then you have all of the games that come because it's a trend. And I think that's what we need to look
Ooh,
at. Is like
okay.
the
I believe you.
Nickelodeon kart racers, Smurfs kart, Kart Rider Drift, Garfield kart.
but
Furious
you're also
Racing.
there's so Mario Kart is a racing game first, but I'm thinking more of like the battle arena stuff.
Okay. This
Because
is
Be
like,
more specific.
that's tough because how do we
Is it a trend?
Because
well,
Mad
there's
Max
two
isn't
separate
really...
kind of
so
things.
and that's what whenever I was making this list of all these things, this is one of the things I think about. I really wanted to try and stay away from things that are genres of video game because racing games are a thing. Technically, Mario Kart, Crash Team Racing, those are racing games. We're talking about like the trend would be arena car battlers because that's not a genre so much as it is. Now, Mario Kart has an arena kart battler built into it because it has the versus mode. Which is also
so give
one
me games other than like the obvious.
Twisted aside from like Twisted Metal,
Vigilante 8.
There's like a Star Wars like battler thing. I forget what it was called.
It was?
Yeah.
That sounds awesome.
No, it's terrible. It was really bad. Let's see.
Tron the
Okay,
bikes thing.
I googled
Tron
Burnout
bikes.
Paradise Remastered, Carmageddon, Max Damage,
Sounds
Wreckfest,
awesome.
Burnout.
Sounds awesome.
WWE Crush Hour,
What?
awesome.
Vigilante, Test Drive, Eve of Destruction, Rogue Trip, Vacation 2012. Oh, there was the Simpsons. Was there a Simpsons car game?
Well,
Like an arcade
was-
style game?
there was Road
remember
Rage, which was more
something.
like Crazy Taxi.
Yeah.
Oh, was
that
that
was a
it?
really
Okay,
good
that's
game,
what I'm
actually.
thinking. Yeah.
It was good.
Cell Damage, Crash Team Racing.
Cell Damage. Oh
that's
my
racing.
god, Cell Damage. I played that on the GameCube. That was great.
Destruction All Stars. A lot of these are going
I
into
wanna-
racing after I looked it up.
Yeah,
but-
I wanna put it in A tier because I think as a trend, again, it was like I
There were
don't
some
know.
bangers.
This is a
I
soft trend. I don't think this is like as an expansive trend as some of the others.
I mean, it was.
I would agree.
Soft for me.
like there's not there's not a time period that you can pin down and say during this time all these games released and it was a
I mean, I
trend.
think like in
Like to
like
see
the
more of a
late
trend.
90s, early 2000s, that was kind of a trend.
Yeah, it was definitely like the PS, like the
I-
PlayStation, early
And I would kind of
PlayStation
put
2 era.
battle tanks in there too. Like it wasn't cars, but it was very similar. It was just tanks instead of
Kind of.
cars.
Kind of. But I would put it as a trend. I think honestly, I put it at a B just because it was good. Like there are good things for it.
I think there's potential for still there with it, honestly.
Like I think we could still make these and they would be good, you know? Like I think this trend could come back if I'm not mistaken.
yeah, I think
I-
it should be a bigger trend than it is. Maybe it
I
is.
think
yeah.
Rocket League is like scratching the surface of, innovative where where it could go and not just be stuck inside this box of, this car battles this car XYZ, whereas now we have this car with a soccer ball battles this car with a soccer ball. I think we could see more. I think we could see it grow further.
Okay.
With car
well,
battlers.
Give me a
I want it.
you want it?
I'm here
I
for
do
it.
too. I would like
right.
to see it too.
So, Chris, give me where would you put the trend at?
I mean, S tier. It was
S.
awesome.
Okay, Allison,
At least A because we all want it.
At least
like we're
A?
all good with it.
Carrie.
As a current trend, I would say B, but I think it could be better.
Oh, okay, but
Yeah.
give me your final
B.
answer though. B. Okay.
B for now. Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna put it as A because I also agree with A. So I think that we'll put it there because that's a healthy middle ground. Okay, we're gonna skip a few. Quick time events. Remember that time whenever there was like a good 5 to 10 years where every game had like, oh, you can't just watch a cutscene. You have to be ready to press X or both triggers, or tap A really fast over and over again.
Naughty Dog was really bad about this.
Naughty Dog, like the Uncharted games.
Uncharted. I think Last of Us had them too. Uncharted was bad about it.
I don't remember if Last of Us had it. I mean, I know everyone makes fun of Resident Evil 4 because that one had like some of the most ridiculous ones in it. But I think that was like the time period when RE4 came out originally, when it was just like the height of QuickTime events, because it was like they put it for everything. Like tap X to outrun the boulder. You know, there was a whole boss fight that was just quick time events.
The tapping one button doesn't bother me too much. It's the combination of buttons.
Yep.
Ironically, one of my favorite games of all time, Gladius, is basically like they had different things that you had to do as a bar went across the screen. So like it was either timing or like kind of button combinations or like, and it was kind of quick timey events, and that didn't bother me. But for whatever reason, like the cutscene thing did.
Wicked Thai Chicken. This is an all-time kind of list.
I think this is difficult because I really like games like Until Dawn, and that's built on this system in a lot of ways. You know.
Yeah. Well, but there's a difference between it being quick time events being part of it, and then the game being like quick time. Like Until Dawn, I would equate with being a game that is built around making split-second decisions versus like God of War, where I'm fighting this big boss, and then it makes me press X and then circle, and then
it's the worst when like you're not expecting it and like they don't give you any time, or like it's in the middle of a cutscene and then like they suddenly just
Carrie, go ahead, say it again.
As I know, there's something I was playing recently that was like this, where it's like you're going along and then all of a sudden they're like, oh, but press this really quick. And I want to see a lot of crafting games do that too, where it's like I want to say Palia does that in some of the cooking.
Where it's like, oh, press this A button whenever it pops up on the screen to make it cook faster,
or something's happening, it's boiling over, and now you need to do this to stop it from boiling over. Or I know that's not quite what you're talking about, though. You're talking about like
Final
during
Fantasy?
cutscenes.
The new Final Fantasy did it.
I didn't play 16. I didn't play that one.
Yeah, that one did this trend the way I think you're describing it. Because like Carrie's saying, I was thinking in my head like things like that, where it's just like the game's kind of built around doing it, and you know you're going to do it.
Yeah.
But if we're talking like cutscene things, that's the only game recently.
Didn't Detroit Become Human have some pretty brutal?
Yeah, Detroit Become Human, but then again, that's kind of the whole game.
See, that's where it's
true.
Like I'm having trouble. You're having
trouble.
I am having a trouble.
I'm just having a
Please
trouble.
Help. I'm having a trouble.
Please. That's what we call a seizure here at the Game Brew. Guys, I'm having a trouble.
I'm spicy and served hot.
No,
Allison.
No, I'm in danger. Please help. No, I'm having trouble like defining this in my head in games. So it's hard for me to rank it.
I think I generally hate it.
I think I do too.
I'm D. Like for me, it's D because it's not the worst thing in the world, but it's like sometimes I just want to enjoy a cutscene and I don't want to have to think about, am I going to have to press X really fast soon?
Yeah, it doesn't really add anything. It's like it's not. It doesn't make you feel good when you do it, and it doesn't really add anything to anything. It's just there.
I mean, it's usually there to add a feeling of panic, I think.
I don't like that feeling unless it's a scary game. I don't want to be bad.
Yeah, I agree. No one likes that.
No, I think so. I think it's like, in my opinion, it's like a game industry's attempt at making something feel more heightened as far as like anxiety. And
I assumed it was more just making people involved.
That's
well, sure. Yeah, they want to make sure you're watching all the ads, you know? they spent a lot of time making that cutscene. They want to make sure you're involved.
For me, though, like
it's my choice to skip it.
When I'm playing Final Fantasy, and I think maybe they did this because 16 has a lot of cutscenes, because it's a very cinematic experience compared to the other Final Fantasies. But normally in Final Fantasy games, I'm experiencing the cutscene like a movie, and I'm chilling, and I'm enjoying it. When I'm playing the game, I'm playing the game. And I don't like when they bleed together, because then I'm stressed all the time rather than enjoying the cutscenes. So for me, this is definitely a D experience.
Yep.
I'm not a fan.
Yeah, I'm gonna push us forward a bit. So D, everybody, we're good. We're good with D.
Good to go.
Okay,
yeah.
Great. All right, I'm gonna skip through to some that I think are a little bit better than others, because we're running out of time. So peripherals, gaming peripherals. So like the extra board that you would get for your Wii, Rock Band, Guitar Hero, the like skateboard game that Tony Hawk did, where there was like a skateboard peripheral you got that you would use to like do stuff. I think that was a Wii
peripherals are
thing.
fun. I think they're fun.
I love this shit.
Yeah.
I know this is going to be a contention. Why'd you go to one that's going to be a contention, Dan? We want to
Listen, well, because none of them have been quick. I picked some that were quick, and they have not been quick.
We debate too long.
I don't love them because it's just extra shit to hang around your house after you're done playing that game.
I just recently got rid of all my Rock Band stuff because I was
There
like,
you go.
it's been sitting in my closet for 2
years.
years.
It was cool. It was cool at the time, but like, then it's just extra shit.
I'm an adult. I need to get this stuff out of here. I mean, I
Right.
think as a trend, I want to put it as C, just because it's like most of it was fine. Wouldn't a controller be considered a peripheral? Wicked Thai Chicken says, boom roasted.
Yeah.
No.
Well, I think. Just
I mean, I guess
different types.
No, because it's necessary to play every game. It's not necessary to play just like one.
So let's rephrase it as
Extra. Extra.
alternative peripherals.
Yeah. Alternative to the normal controller. Okay, you guys can just say what your ranking is. Mine is, I mean, this is an A for me. I really
Yeah.
enjoy
You really-
it. We're gonna
A?
have to average.
Same. A.
We're gonna have to average. Go ahead. What are yours?
Because I'm kind of C on it. I didn't think it's like it was
pretty
interesting at
C
the
on it,
time,
Then
but
it's a
like
B.
then it's a solid B.
Is it though?
It is
No one-
because we have to average.
No one's happy with that.
Look, this is a group opinion.
Well,
and so we're averaging.
I'll agree
because
with
we
B
both have
because like at least the Rock Band stuff was like great. Like whenever that came out, like Guitar Hero was a phenomenon.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I got my
Mhm.
first boyfriend based on the fact that I had a Rock Band system. okay?
Oh, that I mean,
So-
if that's
and that
if-
lasted really well.
I'm sure that lasted a
No,
long
it was
time.
awful. It was awful. But that's not my point. My point is that was an experience people wanted to have, and that's
That's
a good
right.
time.
Look,
We
I went to Rock Band parties.
I went to Dance Dance
Yeah,
Revolution
exactly.
parties.
Yeah,
That was-
DDR match.
Yes,
that would count.
DDR
that was,
mats.
Oh shit, I
So
forgot
much
about
of my
DDR.
life.
You know
That
what?
was so much
And
of
then
my
look,
life.
and the NES. Remember the whole,
But like
you
the
know,
DDR
mat
match
and
sucked
the
ass compared to
gun.
the actual DDR
And then the
things.
Wii, you had
Did.
because they
the.
would just slide around all over the place. It sucked.
Yeah,
It
what
was
did the
not
Wii
good.
have, Carrie? Tell us what the Wii had.
Oh, the Wii had the racket. It had the golf club. It had the.
I still use the Fit game for the Switch.
Oh, the Wii
I,
Fit Wii
It has
Ring
like a-
Fit
it has
Adventure.
I have the
thing?
ring. I have the
Yeah.
ring. Yeah,
Yeah.
the circle thing.
I think we're.
A.
I-
You can't
I
fight
think-
me on it. You can drop it to B. I'm fine with that. We can average this.
I'm
But I'm
Right.
saying
we'll keep it at B. I think is my opinion because I think there's some good stuff, but yeah, there were some things that were really bad and some things that were pretty stupid.
Sure.
Well, and also
Sure.
it just turns into junk, man.
It does just turn.
Once you're
into
done
junk.
with it,
Okay, but
That's
so does
your
your old
opinion,
old
man.
hardware. Your
No,
old
it doesn't.
hardware, old
No, it
computer
doesn't.
hardware.
no, it doesn't. You sell it.
And so you can sell your peripherals too.
Well, but that's
You sell
hard
it to me.
because it depends on the
Once
type
the
of
trend's gone, you
peripheral.
cannot.
I mean, you never.
Not true.
I got a lot of Facebook messages from people's moms over the last year about, hey, I found this Rock Band guitar in my basement.
Mhm.
Can I sell this to anybody? And me being like, nah, dude, nah. So B, we'll keep it at B. B is fine.
I collect retro systems controllers games, so you're not winning that war with me. But okay,
Right, but like she was saying like specifically like computer hardware, like graphics cards. I assume I can sell a graphics
Anything.
card anytime, all the time. Like,
Keyboard, mouse,
until something is out of date.
headset.
but once
that's
if you wait
everything.
10 years after it's out of date, then it becomes retro, and you can sell it again.
That's true.
Maybe, yeah, yeah, maybe. And I feel the same way about these peripherals. So
All right. Well, we're going to go to one that we can all agree on. This is loot boxes, everybody. Loot boxes.
Terrible. Next.
awful.
F.
Eh,
F.
meh.
Sucks.
I don't like them.
What about microtransactions? Do we like those? Was that a good trend?
Actually, that should be F.
I'm in the middle.
What?
They could
It
both be
depends.
F.
This is too broad. This is too broad. There are good microtransactions in games for games that are free, and you have to like support your games, which I support that. And when they're cosmetic and not effective to
Yep.
pay to win, yes. So, and when they're bad, they're very bad. So for me,
Okay.
this is like a
Too
C
broad?
because they average.
Okay.
Because it could go either way.
But I think microtransactions are
Wait.
they charge way too
let's
much.
back this up. What did you say has to go to a C?
I say it's a C. You asked. This is
What-
my
for-
ranking
For what?
Microtransactions.
for microtransactions because sometimes it's a free game that I enjoy supporting with microtransactions for things like cosmetics or additionals that don't affect gameplay.
I
But the
think
pay-to-win
in every
ones-
example, of a game that I actually like, I would rather pay for the game itself than get nickel and dimed every time.
But you don't have to. That's what I'm saying. You don't have to nickel and dime. It's a choice about supporting certain games. So
I would just
cool with
prefer
it.
to have an upfront price.
I mean,
like
sure, in certain situations, but like World of Warcraft, I had no problem buying little pets and little mounts and little.
And I
even
paid
though
for
you're
the
paying,
game.
even though you're paying
Yeah.
$60 for the game and $15
Yeah.
a month.
Yeah, we
I
did it.
didn't have a problem with it. No,
Carrie and I were both those people.
but what I
Yeah.
did have a problem with was eventually you're paying like $20 for a mount, and that's like okay,
Right. Yeah,
come on,
they-
that's
and-
ridiculous.
And that's why I'm saying like there's good in this and there's not. And so for me, it averages to a C because I see both sides of this. So that's where I rank it.
I mean, I think if early access has that, I think microtransactions is worse than early access in this regard for me.
So where do you put it?
F. It's all.
You would put it all the way at the bottom?
Yeah, it's the worst.
Sam, where do you put it?
I don't like them. I do like that there are things that you can get additionally for like some games. I think because of the games as service sort of era we live in right now, that microtransactions are kind of like, it started out bad, but now it is kind of evened out, which is where I feel like as a trend, I do feel C about it, just because there are like ups and downs with it, you know?
And I think it comes from playing a lot of like free to play MMOs where cosmetics are how they make money. That's a lot of my history with it too.
And
Carrie,
then,
where
like
do you rank it?
League of Legends, where we
Yeah,
buy our
I buy skins.
skins and characters, and
Well, yeah, there's in-game currency too, but skins I buy with real money. So, where do you rank it, Carrie?
I mean, I like microtransactions. I give it a B.
Okay.
Unpopular opinion. I don't know.
I don't think we'll come to a consensus on it.
Yeah.
Do we average this one too to a C?
Ugh.
We
Chris, I
can
don't
put a
know.
note on here
I'm
Chris's dismay.
I'm trying to think of a game that
I
Chris plays that would have microtransactions involved with it, and I can't think.
The thing is, I don't play them because they have
I know,
microtransactions involved in them.
And that's the thing. Chris doesn't like these games, but as a
Right.
trend, I find that it's a very average experience because it can be good, it can be bad.
Well, but you did
so if
play.
we're talking about Chris liking a genre, he does not like this genre. But
But
this
like,
is about
okay,
the
so then
trend.
we're saying that microtransaction games are a genre.
Well, no. So here's where I want to differentiate it. But Chris, you did play WoW for a really long time.
I never paid for a microtransaction in that game.
You never bought a pet ever?
Never. All the pets I had, I captured like a Pokemon master.
Right. And so that's a difference in gaming experience.
So that's different then. Okay.
And Chris doesn't like this trend, and I definitely support
That's
that.
perfect.
But I think as an average, we're at C. And
think so
we'll never
too.
get anywhere different.
I don't think we'll get any different. Than that.
I think the only skin I have for League of Legends is the Gragas Oktoberfest skin, and it was gifted to me because it's awesome, and I appreciated. I really appreciated that it was gifted to me.
So Chris is just a frugal boy.
No, I'm not even frugal. I just like it's something that I can't. I can't have it. I can't have it in my hand. I don't want it.
Yeah, everybody has their things, and we can put a little sidebar note that Chris believes it's F.
Yeah, put that on your own.
It's a Z, honestly. It's worth
it. Okay, we're gonna do one more because we're out of time. But mandatory stealth missions in adventure games, where there has never been anything that has stealth involved with it.
To be fair, that game that you have mentioned there is a fully stealth
that's
game.
a fully stealth game. But I'm just it's a visual.
Is that Chaos Theory?
It is Chaos Theory, but Chris, this is a visualization. It has nothing. It's not necessarily the exact same thing. But yes, this is for games where you're playing a regular adventure game or like an action game, and all of a sudden it's like, oh, okay, now you have to sneak around in this one mission.
So we're talking like Ocarina of Time. You're at Hyrule Castle and you have to go through the hedges kind of thing, or are we talking about like Deus Ex Human Revolution where that's options?
That's different because that's having stealth as like that's a viable part of the game where it's like you could either go loud or go stealth. This is you're playing Spider-Man and then you have to play as Mary Jane Watson sneaking through a thing.
Oh,
just because
the museum thing?
Yeah, the museum thing, or like Call of Duty, which is a shooting game, and then all of a sudden there's a level where it's like, oh, we have to sneak around. Not even like that. More like there was a level in like Modern Warfare 2, the remake, where it was like, oh, we have to sneak around all these cameras, so you have to be careful. Oh, sneak through this town. It's like
this is a trend though. I don't know that I've noticed this is a trend.
I have because I play a lot of action games, story based games, and there's a lot of things where you'll just be playing it, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, okay, so we got to this point, we have to sneak around all these bad guys because we can't alert them to our presence.
I think
it's because of the popularity of games like Splinter Cell, or it's like they wanted to add those features, but they were like, we don't want to make a whole game around this. Let's just make a level.
That if it's done well, it actually can be good. Just to add variety of gameplay.
Yeah, but if they haven't like trained you up to that point to like be sneaky, and that's not the kind of game you're playing, why do you want to deal with sneak all of a sudden?
That's how I feel.
Stealthiness.
Which is where I'm like this for me it's a D because like I didn't buy this game to be a stealth game. I bought this game to be a Spider-Man.
Bulldozer.
I really think it depends on the game, and I think it depends on how it's done. If it's done well and it's done where it makes sense, I think it can be good.
Yeah. Yeah, it is difficult because I agree with Chris on that. Like in Beyond Good and Evil, that game isn't about stealth, but there's like a sequence where you have to be stealthy, and it felt good.
Yeah,
if it makes sense to the story, then sure. But if it's just like boom, sneak.
Do you remember that? Do you remember that time they announced Good and Evil 2 and then it never came out?
Yeah, I remember.
You remember that guy?
Oh, I remember vividly.
That's a trend. A trend where you announce a game and
then never releases
for a decade. Looking at you, Elder Scrolls 6.
Vex says, I like the mandatory sneak because you're playing the character. It adds different elements to the story, I think. So yeah, for me, I'm gonna say C. What does everyone else say?
I say D. I don't like it because it just seems like it's shoehorning a different gameplay type into a game just to make it different.
Yeah,
and that's not necessarily what I want to do.
I've definitely played games where it feels off. It feels like
I definitely have felt that, and honestly, it's probably more often that it feels off, and they just shoehorn it in.
Mm-hmm.
But I do think the concept of it is good, so I'll say C. But yeah, and Wicked Thai Chicken says, but is it a trend? I don't know. I don't think it is.
I think it is.
I don't know if you guys
there was a time period. Yeah. I think it depends on what games you play if you notice it's a trend. There was a time period where, and it was around the Splinter Cell time frame, where I feel like every game was shoving in a level that did this. And it still does it to a certain extent, but I don't think it's as much as it used to. But there was a time where I feel like every adventure game I was playing, there was like a moment where it was just like all of a sudden I had to do a PsyOps mission where I just like
Sneak
had to
behind the boxes, hide behind the boxes.
quietly.
Why are there
And
always so
some-
many boxes?
I had to do this in Metal Gear Solid. It was weird.
I know. I keep hearing the Metal Gear Solid like alert noise in my head this whole time we're talking.
Yeah,
That's
and sometimes it felt really off. Rarely it felt okay, and so I'm fine with D. Where's everybody else?
I'm C.
C?
Sure,
Barry?
DC. I just don't. I don't know that I've seen it as a trend. I haven't experienced it as a trend, I should
Okay.
say. So D.
Did
I
you say
think D.
D?
Yeah,
You said-
you talked me to a D. I understand
Yay!
where you're coming from.
D
There
for-
were a lot that were bad.
D
You
for
talked
Dan.
her into D. Good
D
job.
for Dan.
D for Dan.
Great.
Yeah,
Okay.
we got so many more of these. We could have gone. We could
go like an extra hour, but we're not going to, because the ones we have are freemium open world games remasters. So no, here's the thing. If you tell us in the Discord, go to the Discord. Here's the plugs part of the podcast. Hey, go to the Discord, bit.ly/disco brew. I mean, hey, I've got mine in right now. Where you can bit.ly/disco brew and tell us where you would rank these things: freemium games, open world games, remasters of games that came out like 3 years ago, roguelikes, Souls-likes, single player games that have a multiplayer mode for some reason. Uncharted, looking at you. VR games, motion controls, and FMV games, which stands for full motion video. So go to our Discord, tell us where those land. I'll have a picture. I'm going to save this tier list. Oh, nope. I'm going to take a screenshot of this tier list so you can see all the things. Here we go. File. Print. Here we go. Everyone, you can look at. Oh, I have a Canon MX490. But I'm going to do print to PDF. Here we go. That's not working. I'll figure it out later. Okay. So, just do print screen. I'll do it. Okay. So, this is it. You can also follow us on @thegamebrew at everything else. All of the social medias. You can listen to our podcast. If you miss a stream, you can go to the podcast. You can listen to all the old podcasts on your favorite podcatcher at _Game Brew, all one word, podcast.
Or even on YouTube if you don't.
Even on YouTube, if you want to go on YouTube, you can watch it there. If you don't drive around like I do all day. And yeah, that's the Game Brew plugs. Allison, any plugs?
Yeah, I'm gonna stream this month, and I don't have the date yet.
You say that every month.
I know.
She can do it.
Wow.
I believe in you. No, I believe
No,
in you.
I believe in you. I just like.
I'm always looking
so I'm gonna
forward to
stream
it.
this month, and we'll do that, and I'll announce the date in my Discord and stuff. But it's Vanalia on Twitch if you want to follow me. Hi.
Do you have an idea of what you think you're going to be streaming yet? You were saying like older games.
Yeah, I'm thinking of doing older games in the future, but Carrie got me a game recently I might do. So yeah, I'm kind of up in the air about what I'll stream next time. But
All
Which
right.
figure it out.
one?
You got me a new game, and I don't remember the name of it. So you just got me one, though.
All right. Well, stay tuned for what that game might
Yeah.
be. I'm on the edge of my
Yeah.
seat. Carrie, any Lego slash artsy craft things coming up?
Oh man, unfortunately I've had to put things on pause because of my surgery and recovery, but I did get a huge shipment of crystals in.
Ooh.
And I've got some really cool pieces to make some mosaics with, and I'm ready to start working again.
I love when you make those mosaics. Those are so
I've got to
cool.
heal. Oh, thank you. Yeah, me too. I'm ready to do it. I'm feeling crafty, but I can't lift anything over 10 pounds for 6 weeks. So
Gotcha.
healing first.
Got to be careful. All right.
Animal shelter. That's what Carrie got me. See, I knew
Oh,
it.
that one, animal shelter.
Yeah.
There was one other one too, but I can't remember what it was.
Wicked Thai Chicken says he's going to. They're going to stream some early access DLC peripherals on AskJeeves.com. So
That's wonderful. That's perfect. How thematic
Perfect.
for our podcast.
That's
I'll
it's
go watch
almost like
that.
it's perfect. Chris, do you have anything to plug?
Call your dad this week because you called your mom 2 weeks ago. So
That's true.
Plug that.
That's true.
Thanks,
You should.
Chris.
Thanks, Chris. That's
Appreciate that.
Chris is here for the wholesome plugs. He's gonna plug all the things you should be doing. Next time it's gonna be like, hey, drink water. Hey,
well,
That's my
here-
job. That's my job.
eat
Hydro
a,
homies unite.
eat a balanced breakfast, which apparently is oatmeal
Your
cereal
vitamins.
of an orange juice, apple juice, milk. All right. Well, that's going to end the podcast for tonight. So we're going to end this podcast the way we always end the podcast, which is by saying
Good night.
good night,
night,
everybody.
Everybody.